Recovery point objective, or RPO, isn't a new term in the industry, and essentially what it's referring to is if you were to have a disaster event, what is the recovery point available to you? It's typically a worst case scenario and is going to be different for every application. When you hear terms such as this product gives you 3 or 5 second RPOs, what that means is that in the event of a disaster, there's going to be 3 or 5 seconds of actual data loss in your environment. So when we talk about data loss and its impact to a business, that can be very, very critical. So it really needs a lot of thought, and there isn't going to be a number for your entire environment. There's going to be a different recovery point objective for every application in your business. What we suggest is actually going through each application with the business stakeholders and determining how much data loss might be acceptable for that application. The reasons why it's going to be different for every application is because of either the chatty or the static nature of the application in question. Some applications that are typically static by nature are web servers. They don't often get a lot of updates, so having a recovery point objective of 24 hours or even longer for some web servers is actually fine. But the converse of that, say we're talking about email servers, the recovery point objective for an email server can actually be really critical to the business. Losing 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour of email can actually really bring the business to its knees. So when you're designing your VPGs and setting up your different service profiles, do so with the information in mind that you've gathered from the business about what applications can withstand what kinds of data loss, and then work to the worst case scenario for each of those applications when setting up these VPGs. The product itself will always try and give you the best RPO that your link can handle. So if you aren't having any bandwidth constrained environments, then your RPO is always going to be around the 3 to 5 second mark. When we start having contention on your link and start having some bandwidth saturation, that's when the recovery point objectives for each VPG start to actually change. As VPGs have different priorities, the VPGs with higher priorities still continue to push things down the link to keep that lower RPO, but VPGs that have a lower priority are actually held in the background until there is sufficient bandwidth to send the data across the link, and during that time the RPO available to that VPG starts to increase.